out here. Guys, there comes a time in everyone's life when they realize that some things in their life are just holding back their true potential. Sometimes that's your deadbeat friends from college who just want to go drinking every night. Sometimes that's your wife and kids that are always asking shit from you. Sometimes you realize it's your own morality that's holding you back. And you just need to let go of all your morals and ethics and go to the dark side. But in my case, it's chat. You know, chat's holding me back. Trying to be an entertaining streamer and pay attention to you and your all your inane shit that chat has. It's been holding me back. It's been preventing me from reaching my full power. It's not me, it's you. Ball sounds so tired, it's fucking over, Chad bros. I'm not tired. I've just reached the permanent flow state. And it doesn't involve you guys. I'm sorry. It's you? Nah. There's literally no artists that talk to stream. I checked out some of the art streamers, and the ones who are actually productive and professional and shit like that, none of them actually talk to their chat. The ones that do talk to their chat are like professional furry fetish coomers and stuff like that. You could have put forward about it and put no chatting in the title card, you know? When I started going fast, I realized it was time to stop talking. I would say, "What's up, chat?" as if I was going to engage with you guys. Get back to drawing then. I'm trying to figure out what music to play. "77 viewers, the same as what I'm talking." Uh, oh. He's gonna draw. Thanks for the prime sub, Jude. I appreciate the support. I wish I had a girlfriend just so I could break up with her. This is a good example why I don't have a girlfriend. Is instead of being like, I wish I could have a girlfriend to share all my special moments with her, I'm like, if only there was a way for me to emotionally hurt somebody and just be like, I'm sorry, babe, but I don't need you in my life anymore. And that was me just like having a complete moment of honesty. It was just like, I wish I had a girlfriend just so I could break up with her. That just came out naturally. That's not like a meme or anything. I was just like, damn. It would be great telling someone to leave me alone and be like, yeah, I don't want to see you again. Break up with a cat? Unfortunately, besides getting it euthanized, it's not my cat for one thing. Break up with your hime-haired, big-breasted imaginary girlfriend? I'm just imagining me telling her to go away and seeing her crying in my mind and gaining emotional satisfaction from it. It's okay. Even if I break up with my imaginary girlfriend, she's too deep, so she won't be able to move on, and I'll be able to come back to her whenever I want to. That's the good thing about imaginary girlfriends. They're extremely dependent on your existence because they don't exist themselves. I think the manga grind broke him. If anything, I'm reaching my true potential. Also, I'm only like drawing the same amount that you would be working in just like a normal full-time job, so we're hardly at the levels in which we have true weekly series mangaka grind where they start hallucinating shit. Wouldn't your girlfriend break up with you instead? My girlfriend can't break up with me because she doesn't exist. I've already broken up with her. You're not breaking up with me, Ashley. I'm breaking up with you. In fact, you didn't notice, but I had already broken up with you 6 months ago when we went on our first date. It's kind of like Fist of the North Star, where the Mohawk post-apocalyptic guy, he doesn't recognize that he's been dead for the last 20 seconds before his head explodes. I will say that whenever I'm socializing with people and I'm done socializing with them and I get to go home and not be around people for again, I feel extremely free and happy. I think this is God telling me that I shouldn't have kids. I'm gonna tell Timmy. It's not me, Timmy. It's you. I'm getting divorced with your mother and abandoning you because I can't stand being around you and your mom. You were a mistake. I didn't tell your mother that she should have a abortion because I didn't think you would be so much of a nuisance, but I gravely miscalculated how much work having a kid was. If you can suck your own penis, will you do it? No. I don't really, I don't like flexibility exercises, so no. But it's not gay. I mean, let me put it this way. Whenever I'm on 4chan, the only ads that they can get to support shit on that website, you know, a website where half of the words posted are racial slurs or various insults or trolling. The only people willing to advertise and give Hiroyuki profit is either meme coin bullshit, AI porn generators with a monthly fee, or various fleshlight variations. And I've seen multiple ads for fleshlights that are fully automated and will suck your dick on their own. And yet I've never been tempted to buy one. So yeah, that is sort of answers your own question. I'm just not interested in getting a blowjob. Such wow. Holy shit, a 3-stream streak? That's crazy, bro. It's the principle of it, though. He would rather have a woman do it IRL. Eh. I think I would have been way more up for various sexual favors offered by other human beings if the chance of STDs was didn't exist, but we don't live in that world, so if we're living in the fantasy world, then you can go to the temple and have your STD cured by whatever goddess of health or some shit like that. But yeah, I don't want to get syphilis IRL, so. Also, in the process of trying to figure out the most aesthetically pleasing females, just as my job, trying to figure out how to make girls as cute as possible when I draw them. That has made me extremely unforgiving of anybody who isn't anime levels attractiveness. So my standards are way too high. They're much lower for Japanese women, but they're still pretty fucking high. Don't talk to me unless you're a 10 out of 10 supermodel billionaire who's going to give me free blowjobs every night and not bother me with any kind of bullshit. And also leave me alone all the time so I don't have to deal with you. These are the minimum requirements for my for me to be your boyfriend. What if you had a magic genie that would blow you every time you rub her lamp? Only if I've somehow tricked her into thinking that she's eventually going to get her freedom if she gives me enough blowjobs. I want to string her along for thousands of years as she continues to give me other wishes and stuff. We're in blowjob year 5000. And she's like, any day now. So like Tay-Tay is not a 10 out of 10. I'm sorry to break this to all your Swifties in chat. She's like a solid 7. She's super tall, so that's a plus in my mind. But I'm pretty sure she's not offering any free blowjobs to anyone. Also, I feel like Tay-Tay is a good example of the copy pasta where the guy is like, I only date women within 20 IQ above or below myself, preferably below. Tay is well past her prime. Kelsey better get on that to make sure they can prevent white genocide from happening by having white children who can write country songs and play football or something. All the online chuds are like, please, Kelsey, save the white race by having children. Also, fuck the Chiefs. How old is Taylor Swift? She's 34. She's almost as past her prime as I am. Not as bad, but in the same ballpark. Katy Perry is 2 years older than me, 39. Whoa, ugly hag, sexo. Impregnate the old evil hag before her eggs dry up. So I started watching Record of Lodoss War, and I forgot that the main antagonist of the early episodes is this absolute evil hag right here, who's about like 600 fucking years old. This thing, every time I see her, I'm like, oh no, I must correct her with my penis. She's evil. Truly, is there any wish that a man has more than taking a evil, dark magician hag and correcting her with your cock and also giving her children? How the fuck you could forget her? Well, I didn't actually watch Lodoss War until now, and most of the content you get from Lodoss War is Deedlit and then Pyrotis. So honestly, let's be real. A woman only hits her prime when she's, 700 to 800 years old, and then spends the rest of her life tempting men with dark magic. Everyone had the elf fever last month. Free Red, Dungeon Meshi, yeah. All of that comes, Deedlit is like the original we all want to fuck elves character, so... I mean, she literally got her own game because people wanted to fuck the elf so badly. Natalie Portman in her prime? You mean, when she was in Leon the Professional? She was not the original long ears elf as well? Yes. Elves didn't have those super long ears until Lodoss War art came out. And now all Japanese art is like, yes, the ears must be super long. Fat elf anime is the next one. Ugh. Not gonna lie, the appeal of fat women is greatly reduced when you're in a country that's full of fat women. Fat women who are all like, I'm perfect as I am. You just can't handle a woman with curves. You know. I'm not a huge fat, chubby chaser to begin with, but when you live in America and every woman is proud of being fat, it's just like, yeah, it's time to leave this country. There's different scales of fat. I don't have enough melanin skin to enjoy fat women. You don't have to be black to be a chubby chaser. Just look at Pierce Brosnan. I wonder if before he dies, he's just going to come out and be like, all that media about me liking women fat, it's all a lie. I fucking hate fat women. But nobody would still believe him even if he said that, though. They'd be like, he's just trying to cover. Also, I think BB misogynistic penis is coming at play here since I heard that the artist was a woman, so that could be. Sure, whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, it's an entire comic just about an elf that has difficulty dieting and people like looking at plump bodies, so there's not really much for me to go on here. I fucking despise the thick trend that took hold years ago because it allowed all the disgusting fat tards to pollute the porn space. Yes, but unfortunately there's a lot of guys who do jack off to that. So there's nothing you can do about it, unfortunately. People are speaking with their wallets. This isn't like the Western video game industry where there's other things to distract you from the unattractive woman that have allowed the people that have been pushing unattractive women in Western video games to survive longer than they should have. In the case of OnlyFans and shit, it's only the porn. So if there wasn't a huge need in a Western society for big, thick, fat-ass women and men who want to masturbate to them, then they would all be going out of business, but they're not. So that's basically all you need to know. Anything over 130 is too big. I mean, it depends on how tall you are, right? Also, muscle is heavier than fat, so if you're extremely muscular, that's fine as well. I just think that Westerners have convinced themselves that levels of fat that are most definitely not healthy are still within the healthy range of body types. And ultimately, I'm only interested in healthy human beings, both mentally and physically, like myself, although the mental part isn't that healthy in my case, but you know what I mean. If you go to Tokyo and shit, you have the opposite problem. There's a lot of women that are either borderline anorexic or just straight up anorexic. Like, you'll be walking around Tokyo and you'll look at women who have legs that are the same width as their knees or even thinner than their knees, and you're like, oh god. It's like I'm looking at one of those donate to Africa starving children in Ethiopia videos or some shit. What the fuck is wrong with these women? Jesus Christ, it's awful. And there's no one out there to tell them that they need to start eating some fucking katsudon or ramen or something like that. You mentally healthy, that's a good one. My therapist said I was okay, so I'm going to take his word for it. That's also what got him denied my services and payment, because he was like, you're okay. I'm like, okay, I'm going to stop paying you now. Compared to the average person on Twitter, I'm very mentally healthy, because that's a very, very low bar to clear. Average Twitter artist is like, guys, I'm having a real mental health crisis right now, which is why I won't complete any of your commissions where I was paid up front. Also, I'm going to delete my entire account. You should have gotten an older therapist, because the entire alpha generation or Zoomers have absolutely pathetically weak mental state. None of them, every single kid needs to have a therapist right now, so there's not any good therapists available. Yes, nobody can fucking fix me. Especially because most of my problems are stemmed with autism spectrum shit, so good luck fixing that. They can't say you're fucked up. I mean, compared to the other people that he probably deals with, I'm probably not very fucked up, guys, let's be honest. I have read a manga sometime that most Japanese women have been malnourished, underweight since World War II. I mean, that makes it sound as if they're malnourished and underweight because uh, there's not enough food in Japan or something, when it's 100% because of their stupid ass fashion trends. He can fix himself. I don't really need any fixing, guys. I'm kind of doing fine. Why are the Japanese porn stars thick as fuck then? Because that's what guys want to see. Women alter their bodies to satisfy their own female needs of what they think looks aesthetically pleasing, which is peddled to them by the fashion industry. Men cater to porn stars that satisfy their male needs, which is thick, dommy mommies that they can breed and have children with. Peddled to me, I mean, you can go to Brazil or something and get, you know, proper thick body types, I guess. It's very hard to convince women that their fashion choices are incorrect because it's such a subjective thing. And then if you're like, this looks like shit, women are like, I'm not doing it for you, you male chauvinist pig. Are you saying that women's fashion is there to please men? And you're like, yeah, kind of. That's the implicit suggestion in many cases. Every cover of Cosmo is like how to please your man and stuff. But yeah, women don't really want to hear that. They just want to wear what they think is cute or sexy or fashionable or whatever. And that includes also starving themselves. That means going to Brazil. Come to Brazil. Westerners in Japan either gain weight or talk about how much they have to walk everywhere. I hear that a lot of Westerners still lose weight when they get to Japan just because the portion sizes, even if they eat a shit ton, like they'd have to order double the portions in Japan to get the same calorie content they usually eat in America. So a lot of them just lose weight just by default by being in Japan, even if they're eating katsudon or, you know, various fried food every day. Is your mom right in some cases about Japan? Regarding what? I mean, I'm sure she's right about some things. Patriarchy. For someone like my mother who despises all forms of authority and patriarchy, then yes, Japan is not a very nice place to be in. But you must understand that my mother is also someone who will have the TV on and just see a random white guy in a commercial and be like, I hate that man. Just like a commercial character who's like, you should buy car insurance, and she'll look at see like a white man of authority telling her to buy car insurance, and she'll just exclaim about how much she hates him. And I'm just like, you have serious mental illness, mom. It's a fucking commercial. They just want you to buy their fucking car insurance. Chill the fuck out. So yeah, if you're that type of human being, then it's probably not much fun to live in Japan. Mama Ball Spicy. She grew up in the 70s where there were a lot of patriarchal, annoying, old white guys. And she's allowed it to warp her psyche to a degree that it's extremely annoying to be around. So I either tell her that she has some serious mental problems, or I just ignore it because it's like the 10th time she's done it. So how did she deal with my dad then? My dad is a massive giga beta. He's a beta in the truest sense of the word, in that he's extremely agreeable and people like him being around because he adjusts himself to everybody else. If you want to bitch and complain about stuff, he'll listen to you bitch and complain about things for long periods of time. Whereas I'm much closer to my mother, and if I disagree with something you're saying, I'll just be like, you're fucking wrong. White man equals patriarchy. It does in America. Old ass Japanese man is patriarchy in Japan. Father Ball sounds like a good man. He's a guy who successfully was able to breed with a alpha female by being a giga beta, basically. He also got his job that he worked at most of his life by being a beta male, because his friend literally started a company and then he just worked at that company, his like high school buddy. So he's basically just been a beta his entire life. He's not a Sigma Giga Chad like me. I feel if you were a chick, you and your mom would not stand each other. I've told my mother this before, that if I was a girl, you would absolutely hate me even more. We definitely wouldn't be able to live with each other. We'd have massive fights. And she was like, nah, that's not true. I'd get along so much better with a woman, because she's still clinging on to various disproven ideas about feminism, that women are, a coherent voting group and stuff, and they get along with each other when there's a million pieces of evidence that prove the opposite. Basic human networking, yes, the things that I don't do. Human networking is for betas, by the way. True Sigma males cut all ties with any human beings and just sit in their home alone, drawing manga. Hentai contains a lot of commentary on the patriarchy. Yeah, like that one hentai I was reading in which a guy joined a karate class, and it was just a lot of strong females kicking him in the balls again and again and again. And when he asks them to stop kicking him in the balls, they all laugh at him and kick him in the balls. Hashtag karate lessons that are impossible to find anywhere in real life. Your belief system plus being a woman equals your mom losing her shit. I don't actually have that far of a different belief system from my mother. I'm probably like center-left politically, and in the voting system in America, we'd basically be voting for the same candidates because it's just a two-party system. He'll also die 10 years early, but as long as it's the life you want, I mean, yeah. We'll see when I die. I'm not going to let various average statistics determine when I'm going to die. Honestly, if I was living with someone I didn't like, in many cases it would be someone I don't like because I generally don't like being with other human beings. I feel that would cause me to die way earlier because of the stress. So the idea of like, oh, you should make sure there's a woman in your life because you'll live longer is kind of bullshit. That's a psyop by the women who want to kill you with the stress of being around them and then take your inheritance when you die in your 60s. It sounds your mom is too radical for you, so you would clash as a chick because of generational differences. My evidence, my sister and my mom? Yeah, I don't know. I've started to increasingly believe that there are aspects of feminism similar to Trumpism, for example, where people basically ignore reality because they're so deep in their belief system. And that really bugs me. What's your most autistic moment? When I encountered people from middle school and they're like, hey, what's up, Ball? How are you doing? And I'm like, haha, hey, insert name here. I don't know what your name is. And I have to pretend like I know who they are, but I've completely forgotten their existence. PSYOP, LOL. Getting married is the easiest way in which to lose all your money as a man if you're a successful man. Getting married and then getting divorced. That's a fact. As someone who cares for their father, he'd be dead without me around. Yeah, but your father is also someone who has aggressively tried to surround himself by women, regardless of whether they're his daughters or not. Whereas I'm someone who prefers to not be surrounded by people in general. I also maintain an extremely healthy lifestyle just on my own. For now, I'm disciplined enough that when my mother isn't taking care of me, I can also figure out how to take care of myself. Part of being healthy means paying attention to your health signs and making sure that you're properly maintaining your health. And if you're too lazy to cook, figuring out ways around the the more time-consuming forms of cooking so you can stay healthy. I eat well monetarily in terms of like organic and stuff, but I can still eat healthy even if my mother isn't cooking for me. Eating only konbini onigiri, still healthier than the average American, also kind of price-wise not very efficient. Is the robe two parts of the mage? She has a kimono on the inside and then a robe on the outside. So this collar should be more like this. Baal's just lazy and not putting effort into just saying he's autistic to people and to be patient with him. I mean, I don't want to be around people to begin with. That's the point. Like, if I can afford to not be around people, then that alone is, that's good enough for me. I'll basically be like, I'm autistic, so you have to forgive me for any kind of mean things I say to you. And they're like, okay, but then they're like, no, wait, that's a horrible deal. I'm not gonna let you be mean to me. So I'm like, well, fuck off. I won't deal with you then. Why should I be nice to you? Baal will never admit he has a harem on call that would spoil him whenever he wants, but hides them away to seem like the Chad he is. If I actually had a harem, that would be annoying as fuck. I hope there's some other guy who just sneaks into the harem and has sex with them instead of me, so I don't have to deal with their shit. Like the Chinese emperors, they had all their eunuchs to make sure the guys weren't fucking their women. But I'd just be like, nah, go ahead. Don't care, LMAO. I mean, if it's more of a historic harem in which all the women are isolated in some separate palace or some shit, that would be much better. But the worst kind would be if it's like a daily life anime harem where there's multiple girls every day saying hello to you and being like, "Kya, Rito-san!" You haven't tripped and stuck your nose into my panties today yet, you know? That would be annoying as fuck. Hey, Rusty Can, thanks for the Prime sub. I appreciate the support. Modern harems look like hell. Allowing women the rights to date the same anime MC was a mistake. I don't have time for every one of you, Jesus. I mean, for real, dude. I get stressed out having to socialize with one person for like 10 minutes per day. Imagine if that was multiplied by 6 more women or something. And they would get jealous if you were talking to one of them but not them or something. They're like, oh no, he's not paying attention to me. And I have to worry about that shit? Jesus Christ. How could you get anything done? This is why we stick to monogamy? We actually don't. People just have a shit ton of affairs instead. It's not really a monogamous society at all. I want a manga about an autistic person dealing with a harem and yelling them all to fuck off. I'm reading a Japanese isekai right now that's basically that. It's a really well written, actually. He's basically Isekai Jesus. And he's a super good guy, and he keeps on saving women. So there's a lot of women who keep on falling in love with him, and he's just like, Jesus Christ, get the fuck out of my way. This is part of the reason why I still read Isekai novels, because they actually have good ones in there. They're just not as well known. Again, I would show it to you. I would link it to you if any of you could read Japanese, but you can't, so. Is he asexual? No, he's just a serious person, and he doesn't have time for girls and their lovey-dovey bullshit. Being a gatekeeper? No, Japanese is the greatest gatekeeper of all. I don't have to gatekeep anything. None of you can even touch the doorknob of this gate. You will never learn Japanese. Enjoy your subtitles. And if something doesn't get translated, you won't get to consume it. I'll hire a translator. Just dump it into DeepL translator. Who knows? It's probably good enough. If it was DeepL was good enough when I was a professional translator, so it should be good enough for you. AI will fix that. It definitely won't. You're acting like those bitches in makeup groups who won't give the product details. If you actually want the title, I'll give you the title. And you can figure out how you want to read it yourself. Here you go. Go ahead and read it. It's in Japanese and only Japanese. Enjoy. LOL, Hystrixia once again successfully bullies Ball? Yes. Not just Hystrixia, but all of you. Your very existence is bullying me. I'm just trying to draw here, and yet, instead, I have all these people in chat annoying me about paying attention to them. It's awful. Dietart Becca. I think that's correct. I don't know how to... I mean, it's definitely a German name, so... I wouldn't use Google Translate. Don't you guys use Don't you guys know DeepL? Here's a pro tip that's actually helpful. Always look for this. DeepL. Go to DeepL translation. DeepL is basically AI before we had all this AI shit, whatever the fuck AI means. It's way better than Google Translate, at least. As a pro translator, I would use it quite often. I'd say it's like a solid 70% to 80% correct usually, so... ChatGPT is pretty good these days, in my opinion. Maybe, maybe not. I can't really tell... I don't trust your guys' opinion on whether a translation is correct or not, because you guys can't know the original Japanese, right? So sometimes pick up nuance, yes. And that's really not the auto translator's fault, because it's not just nuance in language in general, it's going to be nuance in each individual story. So without context-specific translation, you will never ever have an accurate translation. So that's why I'm saying AI will never be able to fix incomplete translations. You're always going to need a person. Dude, it's an isekai, it's not that deep. Do you think I would be recommending something if it wasn't deep? Bro, I've read so many isekai and so many of them are so bad. So if I'm talking about something that I actually like on stream, it's actually something that's good. I mean, isekai is just a genre, a subgenre of fantasy. It doesn't mean it has to be shit garbage, even though 95% of it is shit garbage. Again, it's basically Isekai Jesus. Dungeon Meshi is my favorite native isekai. See, we're using the terminology wrong. There is no such thing as fucking native isekai. That's just a fantasy story. Isekai literally means another world. There is zero isekai elements in Dungeon Meshi. It's just a fucking fantasy. Does this mean his virginity makes him stronger? Nah, he fucks in this. I can't draw walking motions, basic animation shit, if I don't use reference images. Man walking. The ambulatory posture looks weird. Because I always draw from like waist up, you know, so... Are you going to show partial nudity? I'm going to show some partial nudity, but it's just going to be like standard ecchi stuff. There will also be a swimsuit episode at an early stage. Drawing walking movement is hard. Animators are like the top tier of drawing ability, honestly. There's a lot of shit that you can hide in terms of skill level that you can't hide once you start to animate stuff. If you follow any animator Twitter accounts, just their doodles that they do are like way higher level than just the average artist. Actually, manga, you can get by with having really shitty art level, like fundamentals. You can like totally skip fundamentals and still make it as a living as a manga artist. So just look at Fukumoto. As long as all your characters are making zawa zawa faces. People will be like, it's a fucking masterpiece. Look how tense everything is. They won't worry about the fact that the faces you draw look like this. Based Fukumoto gambling manga. There's so much generic manga art that looks AI generated, lol. I mean, a lot of it is even less work than AI generation because they're using already pre-rendered backgrounds and stuff. Oh, look how much progress I made before I started talking to you guys, and look how much progress I made after I started talking to you guys. It's like night and day. Whatever. Oh, I played the Stellar Blade demo. I'm guessing most of you losers here are PC gamers, so you won't be able to enjoy the Ludo Kino Korean ass video game. But for those of you who do have a PS5, it's worth checking out the demo at least. Often they don't draw the backgrounds really. That's what assistants are for. Just pay a professional to draw the background for you. I will say my complaint with Stellar Blade and games in general now is that thanks to Sekiro, parrying has gotten way more popular, and I'm not a huge fan of parrying. Even when I get good at parrying and I win because I successfully parry, I don't find it as satisfying as just like cheesing the boss. I don't like timing-based combat, basically. Her butt is pretty much the entirety of their advertising budget. It's a pretty solid game, actually. They have quite a few combat systems. It's a pretty solid action game. No, it's actually good. It's got the DMC Bayonetta type of vibe while having Dark Souls movement. It's actually even less mobile than Dark Souls. It heavily incentivizes properly parrying and then makes parrying pretty forgiving. It gives you a pretty high timing window, big timing window for the parry. I was expecting Stellar Blade to be hornier. It really needs more Guro and Ryona. The girl needs to get cut in half and like just you should be able to see all of her guts go everywhere. But the game developers said they expect players to die a lot during harder boss fights, so they eliminated like death scenes. But yeah, in the demo, there's another, not the main character, but there's another girl, and she gets her arm chopped off in a cutscene. I was like, oh shit, is this gonna be a Guro game? Because I'm down for that. There's a lot of like other female androids that absolutely get crushed and stuff, and I was like, oh shit, is this gonna be Guro Kino? Do I get to jack off looking at horrible deaths of cute Korean girls? But no, not really. this is what I came for, the Guro talk. Look, I'm just saying that if you're a hot Korean video game character wearing a skin-tight bodysuit and you're fighting a giant grotesque monster whose head is a chainsaw and its grab attack is grabbing the female character and holding her up and sawing her down the middle with its gigantic chainsaw head, if we don't get the animation of her getting bisected in half and her different parts getting thrown around, then it's a fucking scam. But she doesn't get bisected. She just like takes the damage and then falls down, and it's like, you lost. So it's a real missed opportunity. And it's not really something that you can fix with mods. So unfortunate, it's kind of unfortunate there. Why do you like seeing women being killed? Do you have some sort of problem with women? I like seeing all characters be killed, to be honest. Although, if it is a Dark Souls style game in which you die a lot, I do agree that it can ruin the pacing if you're dying a lot and then like you have to see the animation every time. Jesus would be judging you if he wasn't Yoda and Guro fetishist material. Yeah, Jesus who hashtag got fucking nailed to the cross and stabbed and stuff with a spear and went around whipping the Jews at the temple and stuff. Okay, normal conversation, lads. Oh, come on. What is this? Is this like underage chat or something? Everybody who grew up playing games in the 2000s understood that Guro was its own reward. Everybody who played Manhunt as a 14-year-old and got to murder video game characters by putting a plastic bag over their head understands how much fun Guro was back in the day. Even before Gears and Dead Space, that was when shit was starting to get toned down. Yeah, Isaac gets his head chopped off here and there, but when I was growing up, we had entire video games just dedicated to the most gory shit. And not just MK. If anything, MK, you don't see as many deaths because the fatality is something that only happens once per match. Whereas you had stuff like Punisher and Manhunt on PS2 where you were just like, yeah, this entire stage has 30 people and I'm gonna murder them all in the worst ways. God of War was built on shameless gore. Yeah. Except the camera is too far back in God of War, so you don't really get to see. Like, yeah, you tear things off, you tear people's heads off and stuff like that. But not enough stuff spills out in God of War. Mortal Kombat is mid. Plot sucks, voice acting sucks, graphics suck, models suck, etc. I think the number one complaint by me, besides the girls not being hot enough in many cases, is the animations are just really stiff, and I don't understand why they can never fix that. I mean, I guess it's part of their legacy, but the way people move in Mortal Kombat moves nothing like a real human being moves, and it also doesn't move in a way that you're instructed to animate things like as a professional animator. It just looks so amateurish and shitty. It looks like someone in SFM was just fiddling around for 20 minutes. The movement is so weird. Mortal Kombat is great only because it upset Tipper Gore. It wasn't that hard to upset people about video games back in the day. Most of the animation budget went into the fatalities. It really did, didn't it? I just think that it's a joke of a fighting game in terms of like actual skill ceiling and stuff. When I was watching Evo and it was Mortal Kombat 11 or whatever, and it was like mirror matches for the entirety of the top 8, basically. I was like, holy shit, they haven't balanced their game at all. This is fucking... what a joke. His head is too pointy. This is better. The original GTA upset people? Yes. I mean, Mario upset people. People are like, how will my child become a Harvard law professor if he spends all his time stepping on Goombas? I told my mother how bitter I was about her restricting my access to video games as a child, and she didn't even remember that she did. So I was like, well, there you go. All the bitterness you harbor for your parents for not letting you play Super Nintendo, they don't even remember. They're just like, I'm doing a good thing for my child. He'll be stupid if I don't restrict his access to games. So there you go. Guilty Gear also has vastly superior character design. Whoa. Daisuke character design. Whoa. No one plays Guilty Gear, it's just a meme. I play Guilty Gear Baiken, and by play I mean jack off to porn of her giant tits. Yes, jack off. I'm fucking Soul's waifu right now. Why are black Americans good at Tekken? Black Americans are generally good at fighting games because they come from a culture in which A, they have multiple people living in their house, as in they have more siblings and cousins and stuff. B, they have a culture of trash talking each other, which generally helps with competitiveness if you're in front of the TV. C, if you're in poverty gaming mode, your parents are only going to buy you one game, so it really helps when you have one game that you can play for a really long time against other people. So for this reason, black Americans are often better at fighting games than white Americans, who get their expensive PC and then they can play League of Legends and stuff on their own, whereas the black players get to sit in front of the TV with their cousin and play like 200 hours of Tekken. It's all the shonen anime they watch. Yes, that also helps. Black men are being psyoped into becoming anime coomers by Chun-Li's thick thighs. It's literally black genocide. Ball's got a fully realized theory of mind in black FGC players. It's the same as Japanese arcade culture. You get better at fighting games when you have like a social space where you play against other people face to face. And then you get really angry when somebody beats you by trapping you in the corner with Dalsim and throwing you again and again and again. Generally, the best fighting game cultures are the ones in which there's always the possibility of a real life fist fight developing at the arcade. the Naruto the fighting game Black Man Pipeline. As soon as we bought Jamal Ultimate Storm Ninja Storm game, it was all over. Now he's just the only job he can have is become a professional Street Fighter pro. I grew up watching Power Rangers. I never grew up watching anime. It's basically the same thing, let's be honest. There isn't any huge difference between tokusatsu and anime. Dragon Ball, yes. Millions Must Lift. I love the camp of tokusatsu. What I like about tokusatsu is that they have a long tradition of evil females. It's even a porn genre, a minor porn genre in Japanese hentai. Aku no onna kanbu is what we call it. Female, I don't know, evil female officer of the antagonist of tokusatsu is its own genre. Feels good, man. I see so many black people in the gym with DBZ iconography. They can't help themselves. Just thinking that their Vegeta motivates them. They're like, for Black History Month, I'm going to write my high school paper essay about a black man that I respect. So I'm going to write 10 pages about Piccolo and how he chose to be a father instead of Goku, who abandoned his son. I'm glad Akira Toriyama's family had a private ceremony for him instead of idiots dressed as Goku there powering up. Yeah. At least the editors had the decency to make sure that to delay the public announcement for like 2 weeks or whatever. Although on the grand scheme of anime fans, I'm pretty sure Dragon Ball fans are pretty low on the cringe level. It can get so much worse. But the most cringe fan bases don't really have one creator to the media, so there isn't going to be like a giant public funeral for the creator of Sonic, you know. So I can't really think of a good like individual who, when they die, will be surrounded by cringe. They are harmless cringe. If anything, they're a cringe that is helpful to the rest of society because their cringe motivates them to lift harder and be better human beings. They're cringe. They're just less cringe than Homestuck or whatever. We're not going to make the list right now because it's too much work, but Good night. Has there ever been an encounter with an otaku in Japan that legitimately make you cringe because of how unaware they were and how cringe they are? I mean, I constantly cringe when I would have to be with Western, not necessarily even weebs, but Westerners in general, because they behave in extremely cringe ways in Japanese society and they're completely unaware. Just like walking in the wrong way and getting in everyone's way, and then you can tell all the other Japanese people are like, fucking gaijin, get out of the way. And then the gaijin are doing stupid shit. This is just a constant occurrence in Japan. For S tier, I think it's safe to put in My Little Pony, right? Didn't we already do this? No, wait, I did it for rankings for shit that you can use to exploit for Twitter followers. My Little Pony, Nintendo, Sonic. Am I forgetting anything? I'm gonna include Pokemon in Nintendo, although maybe it should be separate. I don't think Marvel gets S. I think it's A at best. There's no way. Alright, Nintendo has too many cringe properties, so we're actually gonna cut them up. Because, like, I'm pretty sure Mario fans, as sad as they might be, aren't in the same category as Pokemon, Smash, what's SS tier? I mean, I'm willing to put Pokemon in it, honestly. What about furries? Are furry their own fan base? Let's limit it to specific IPs instead of being like a genre. Because like Sonic obviously includes furries, My Little Pony obviously includes furries. Pokemon obviously... these are all include furries. I think that's okay for S. We might add more to S, but... VTubers count? We're putting VTubers in there, yeah. Let's put VTubers in there. VTubers is kind of a crossover between a fan base and a separate genre, non-fiction genre of like simping for women, so Naruto isn't going to get S tier. Should gacha be S tier? S tier is so powerful already. I don't know if we can complete this because, like, it's kind of... Nobody has listed anything that's like a B tier, you know? Because cringe is just like... It's so bad on its own. There's not many situations in which you're like, oh, that's cringe, but it's tolerable cringe, you know? Like, as soon as you get to that cringe level, you're just like, oh shit, this is serious cringe. So I don't know if we're going to complete this now that I think about it. We might come back to it. That being said, the top level with a lot of Nintendo franchises is definitely real, considering they're all like grooming kids and shit. B tier is a lot of anime fans, yeah. Cosplayers? Nah, cosplaying is like... It's not really a fan base. It's just women that want you to jack off to their exposed body. And that's just narcissism. It's not anything special. Rick and Morty. I feel like Rick and Morty is kind of on the downside right now. Also, there's no way to donate your entire life savings to Rick and Morty, even if people want to. Unlike VTubers, where you can most definitely donate your life savings. Same for Gacha. You drew 9 hours yesterday. I spent barely any time on chess. We aren't the same. Well, I'm not. You're not being like, I want to become a grandmaster, I assume, so. And I'm like, I still want to go pro, even in a limited amount. So I sure as fuck better be drawing. I mean, it's literally my job, right? Like, let's be honest. This is my fucking job, although I'm not getting paid directly for it. This is what generates income for me. So it's not the same as anybody who's like, I didn't spend enough time on my hobby. If I'm not willing to draw for like 9 hours a day, then what am I willing to do? Like, I don't have any fucking excuse. How many pages did you get done? I'm sort of skipping ahead. This is page 17, but I don't know. We can actually look. No, wait, this is not that. We got cover 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna say that 7, 8, they're basically done. 9 isn't done, so 8. It's actually 9 because 0. I have 0. 9. 10. 11 is almost done. I'll say 11, 12. 13 is almost done. 14 is almost done. I finished 16 last night. We're working on 17 now. So it's like... It's the equivalent of about 15 pages done, I would say, considering some of these pages are like almost done, but they're not 100% done. So it's basically the equivalent of about 15 pages done, I'd say. So we're not halfway there. We're almost halfway there. We're like 40% there. Yesterday I did 1 page from beginning to end, and then I finished some of the backgrounds and stuff. Different pages take different times, of course. I already play League. I can't dip into Val 2 and lose all my humanity in one go. As someone who draws, and people are like, how do I get better at drawing? I'd be like, listen to this advice before you watch any YouTube videos. Step 1 at becoming a good artist is you have to go into your computer settings and go into the menu for uninstalling programs. Now, uninstall League, uninstall Dota, uninstall Team Fortress, uninstall CSGO. Any video game which you have 3,000 hours on, that's about like getting better competitively, fucking uninstall it now. You don't get to do both. You don't get to draw and play CSGO. It just doesn't work. It's also better for your mental health as well. MOBA especially, in terms of the amount of time that you're going to spend and then not get better because you wasted 40 minutes because you got in an argument with one of your teammates and they just fucking DC'd. Those 40 minutes are never coming back. You're completely wasting your life. If you want to waste your life drawing, then you have to not waste your life playing MOBAs. It's one or the other. If I don't get my daily dose, I will shrivel up and die. As someone who was playing Predecessor, the Paragon remake, I know exactly how you feel. It gives you all this brain juices when you win. You're like, holy shit, I'm so fucking good. And then it also makes you super angry when you lose because of your shitty teammates. Surely we did not lose because I'm bad. It makes you kind of feel alive. if you're just a withered up husk like myself that doesn't have anything that makes them feel. It's like getting road rage and shit. However, it's extremely unproductive. So I uninstalled Predecessor because I was like, you know what, it's time to get serious. We have to fucking uninstall. At some point, you just have to be like, yeah, this is a waste of time. I have to uninstall. Getting to Grandmaster that chess doesn't get you enough to make a living. Probably getting top 10 does and probably pays well too. I mean, aren't there a shit ton of Grandmasters though? Grandmasters, like, if we're basing it on anime standards, there should only be like 4 Grandmasters in the world, right? The 4 heavenly kings of like anime. They show up in a darkened background and they're like, huh, he defeated Grandmaster Ludwig. He is the weakest of the heavenly 4. Pathetic. Karl von Heim will win next time. Number of chess grandmasters. There's fucking 2,000. Yeah. There's more chess grandmasters than there's like Street Fighter pros, guys. Saying that you're a chess grandmaster is basically the equivalent of saying that you're Diamond in Street Fighter 6. It's really not that impressive. There's one heavenly player and his name is Magnus Carlsen at the moment. If Magnus Carlsen is so powerful, why can't I beat him just by having a anal plug? An anal plug that can transmit outside signals into my ass, huh? How about that, Magnus Carlsen? How will you defeat my anal plug start? The sublime strategy of anal plug vibration. Street Fighter pros aging out of the genre? I mean, the old ones are, and there's new ones coming in. It only helps if the thing you're playing gives you brain rot bad enough to make you draw all day. I force myself to draw all day because, what else am I gonna do? I'm gonna lurk but want to say I love your stuff, dude. Keep rocking out. The stream's gonna end soon, to be honest. Because I haven't made any progress since I started talking to you guys. Hansen is probably still having fun when he hears what his small comment grew himself into. Didn't Magnus Carlsen lose again after that? And then like everyone was like, it must be an anal plug again. Also, in all honesty, chess is a relatively low game in terms of skill ceiling, let's be honest. It's way less complex than a lot of the other board games, which is why it was the first one to get solved. For example, I think there still isn't a Mahjong AI that can beat human players or something. I don't think they've built one yet. Because like that 4-player thing makes it too fucking complicated. I hear that Mahjong is actually more complicated than Go, for example. Chess isn't solved yet. It literally is. What the fuck are you talking about? Chess is so solved that an average player can go into the toilet and pull out his fucking smartphone, and the fucking smartphone chess program is better than all the other players in the tournament, so they have to make sure that nobody has a fucking phone. That's the whole point. Chess is 100% solved. What are you talking about? I know nothing about chess, and I know that it's most definitely not complex enough to be considered not solved, you know? Chess was solved in the fucking 90s. Mahjong is basically poker with 14 cards and at least 30 winning hands. Yeah, and you have to like make a lot of horrible noise, clink, 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 clank, clank, clank noise with all your pieces. And also, you need 4 people. And also, you have to give your kidney to the Yakuza. I mean, I guess it's your definition of solved, but let's not fucking pretend that you can't just fucking dominate chess with a commercially available software program on your phone, because if that wasn't the case, they wouldn't have to make sure that people would everyone's phones were banned all the time. BB is so adorable when he generalizes. Am I wrong? I don't think I am. You don't need a deep blue supercomputer to win at chess anymore. Have you played Mahjong Soul? I tried playing Mahjong for a very short period of time on my DS back in the day in like 2010, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to play Mahjong. Fuck this game. It never really gripped me. For one thing, I don't like gambling. For another, I don't like associating with other people. Mahjong also has a ton of shit you have to memorize, and it's not that hard if you are actually interested in playing the game. You can probably memorize it pretty quick, but I never was that interested. See, I like being able to play games where I can play the game as a part of self-expression. And from that aspect, drawing is like the ultimate version of that. It's like you have endless freedom for self-expression. PC 98 Edo game Mahjong doesn't count. I had like a Gundam game Mahjong, and you got to choose like Gundam characters, and they had special moves. Like you could use your special meter, and Char would be like, "Bing! I can see," and like he could see one of his opponent's hands or something like that. I can't remember specifically. So I was like, I like Gundam. Maybe I'll use this to learn how to play Mahjong. And then I was like, nah, fuck this. I don't like Mahjong. We're 24 years old in 2010. Yeah, basically. Beat some phone stockfish. I mean, I'm just saying that for chess got beaten by computers before we had all this AI shit. So that says a lot about how much more simple it is than various other board games. I mean, just based on how the rule set works, you can see how much more simpler it is than shogi, for example. Because they're so similar, except shogi has the added element of capturing opponents' pieces and being able to redeploy them. So just from that aspect, you can tell that shogi is just like way more complex. And then shogi isn't as complex as Go. Kido Gekidan Haro Ichiza Gundam Mahjong. I think it was for DSi. Double screen DSi Zeta Gundam Mahjong. This is it. Haro Ichiza Gundam Mahjong plus Zeta. Haman looking really cute here. Yeah, I guess this is the sequel. Instead of plus, they have the Gyan. I forgot which character I was using, but I got bored of it really quick. My favorite Zeta Gundam character is the one that dies a tragic and meaningless death after saying some stupid shit and seeming like they're an important character, then they just die. I like that one. You know, the one that Tomino decided that it would be cool if they just got killed ungraciously. Oh, that doesn't narrow it down. Let me be more specific. I like the Gundam character, which is a female that behaves irrationally and decides to ignore military protocol to do some weird female shit. And then while they're fighting in space, she's like, I've decided to prioritize my feelings. And then the guy's like, what are you fucking talking about? The character that dies in Akame ga Kiru, people be like, no, please don't kill the woman who literally committed genocide. She's my waifu. Not her. LMAO. Let's be honest, Tomino is extremely overrated as a writer. Especially if you want any kind of satisfying conclusion. Or if you like traditional storytelling convention, Tomino is like, Jesus Christ, he's doing it again. That fucking Baldy. He's just killing all the characters off again. Here we go. I enjoy him because he's different from, you know, standard Marvel, stupid, quippy storytelling. He gives you something that you won't get anywhere else, so that makes it better for that aspect, but if you just want like a normal story, if you're in that kind of mood, then his bullshit gets old pretty quickly. Anime writers suck at endings in general. I wouldn't say it's an anime writer's fault. It's just that a lot of mecha anime, which is usually original, they have a lot of shitty writers. And then the writers for more normal anime get in trouble because they're adopting a manga or something, so they have to either end it after 12 episodes at a weird spot, or, you know, they have to give it a different ending, or just be like it's going to continue or whatever. So I'd say that in many cases it's not the anime writer's fault. Code Geass had a good ending, yes. Lelouch is still alive, guys. He's driving the ox cart. He's gonna retire to the countryside and fuck Cece and impregnate her. He is? It's a common theory. I think it makes more sense, honestly, that he's alive. The fuck you mean he dead? Someone isn't browsing A or 4chan or whatever. It's extremely common theory that he's not dead. It's not even that much of a leap in logic because it's stated beforehand that Cece can make him immortal if she chooses to. So all she would have had to do was make him immortal before he got stabbed. Also, he personally promised his pizza wife that he wouldn't leave her alone anymore, and they were together to the end. So it doesn't make sense for him to. He accomplishes everything that he sets out to do except his promise to CC. So from my perspective, it doesn't make sense for him to die because he was so thorough in accomplishing everything he set out to do in the first place. So I don't think he would leave her hanging. You might want to watch Code Geass Akito. I have not watched Akito and I don't really plan to, but I guess I might. What is CC? Crowd control. It's a MOBA term. I think they call her C2 in Japanese, but I call her CC because that's how they write it. C2. She is a green-haired witch that is the main femme fatale plot driver of Code Geass, who is immortal, and she can make people immortal. CC or Kalin though? Kalin. It's basically asking tits or ass when you ask that question. I'm more of a tits guy, but between those two, I think I'd rather have C2 than Kalin. And she eats pizza. That's how her ass gets so fat, by the way. She just sits around doing nothing throughout the anime. And is just like, what are you gonna do, Lelouch? Give me more pizza. The green-haired girl of Code Geass who inspired Jack O. Yes. Billions of sperm must die. She killed trillions of semen. Sponsored by Pizza Hut. Feels good, man. We need more product sponsorship in our anime. I like the purple-haired... I forgot what her name was. Oh, Cornelia, that's right. Giga MILF. Not a MILF, by the way. Oh, look, here's an AI image of her. Is this AI? It must be. Made to fuck. Here we go. Here's a good image right here. Her face is somewhere above, but yeah. Remember, if a woman has lipstick on, that means they're immediately 10 years older. That's how it feels to have a girlfriend. Just feed her pizza and tell her your plans. I mean, they're sort of joined at the hip. She's basically his wife, not his girlfriend. Those are very perky tits for a hag. She's like 28, so she's well into hag territory or something. Is the bone dust a reference to the fallen of the Napoleonic War that were later exhumed and turned into fertilizer for England and Belgium? No. They're literally killing skeletons in the dungeon, and they're gonna crush them up into bone dust. Yes, I also like Rakshata. Delicious brown. Unfortunately, she appears in approximately 3 scenes total. Extremely underused despite being a very hot character design, as is often the case in anime. If we could have cut all of the, homo lust scenes between Lelouch and Suzaku and instead just had some more hot heterosexual sex scenes between me and all the hot females of that show, it would be vastly improved. But unfortunately, that did not happen. Wait, who is Lakshata? I might be, Rakshata was the Indian scientist, right? There's multiple brown characters. Yeah, that's correct. It's a sexo brown scientist. Built for impregnation by me. And there's also the other brown knight lady who loses her memory and then gets turned into a sex slave by beta male. Least beta male in anime history. He's like, oh, I'm an NPC. I have nothing I want to do. I'm completely useless. Also, I'm going to trap this hot brown lady in my house and fuck her senseless every night and impregnate her. Falls in love with the terrorist. Yeah, extremely beta omega NPC terrorist who apparently had a nice cock. He fucked the Briton out of her. Good guy, yes. And she sort of, remember she becomes like a teacher at the school or something. Code Geass was quite a ride. They had like the equivalent of 3 seasons worth of plot or 4 seasons worth of plot for 3 different animes in basically 1 season. Because it was like you had school plots, various horny female characters, all the intrigue stuff, the palace intrigue, robots, homo lust, everything in one anime, and just smushed together. It just sounds weird to call a terrorist extremely beta. They couldn't do anything without Lelouch telling them what to do, though. Basically, everybody was useless without Lelouch, so he was definitely beta, except for his cock. I hate that because it's anime, it's almost certain that the insane shit you're saying is 100% how it goes. Code Geass is pretty insane, even by anime standards, but everything I've said so far is 100% true. Lelouch would also have been useless if not for Geass. He also has like 7,000 IQ though. Actually, what I thought was interesting that was pointed out on the Japanese internet is like Lelouch is like, I have to overthrow Britannia because if I don't, then uh, my sister is in danger because the palace intrigue is going to kill her. And then if you actually watch the anime, you realize that literally everybody loved his mother and they all are looking out for his sister, and it's only nice people who really like him. So if he hadn't gone crazy, he could have just lived a nice life with his blind sister and nothing bad would have happened. Cornelia loves him. Cornelia's sister loves him. Everybody fucking loves him. His IQ is Death Note level IQ. Yes, his IQ is definitely Death Note level IQ, but it's unclear whether that means he's smart or not. So Lelouch is actually just stupid. Just like Yagami Laito, Lelouch could have lived a nice, comfortable life and been totally okay if he didn't go out of his way to use his stupid Giga IQ and shit everything up. In many such cases. It's basically Death Note with mecha and hot girls. And more ass pull. Typical smart person overthinking shit move. Yes, you can solve this problem by not thinking at all. That's how I solve everything. LMAO, 5 IQ, just do it. Peepo comfy, yeah. That comfy feel when you realize your brain is not active. Alright guys, I'm going to end the stream here. It's time for me to go jogging before the sun goes down. See you around, boys. Back to the manga grind instead of talking to my chat. Gotta masturbate to Code Geass porn. Feels good, man. See ya. Good night.